certainly a very genuine confrontation incoming. Artur with a real hand here.
Like that card.
A street flash turn. Everyone loves aces.
Really wonder how Martirosian is going to feel. I think at this stack depth, you're going to have to just fold most of the time, but he feels so comfortable playing post flop. And it is, you know, 60 big blinds effective behind. There's the dead money from the raise. Not the worst flop in the world for Martirosian relative to these spadeless aces. And maybe Martirosian can find a fold against the larger sizing. That's bigger than what we would be used to in a situation like this. Love to be in the head of Martirosian right now. If I'm calling pre-flop, do I need to continue on this board? Because he has all the ace-kings and ace-queens and ace-jacks that are going to bet here. Might slow down on a brick turn like that card.
A street flash turn.
Street flash.
Deuce of spades, tray of spades, four of spades, five of spades. Open-ended, straight flush draw. Martirosian bets 20,000.
Yeah, this is the lead that tries to freeze up, you know, even hands like the ace-queen with a spade. Try to set the price so you're not facing a 50,000 or 100K all in. How does Lubietsky perceive it? And that's exactly what Martirosian wanted. Give me that free spade on the river.
Oh my goodness.
We might still be a clip.
This is certainly going to make Icelandic Sports Center.
Yeah.
Deuces full. Another set mime gone right.
And you know what they say, Joe? Ducks fly together.
Ducks do, in fact, fly together.
And you know where they like to fly over? Rivers.
And Canada.
That, right? Yeah. And with just 96,500 back, that's going to be a shove for Martirosian.
Oh boy, oh boy. That's right, the effective stack belonging to Lubietsky.
And not a snap call here from Andre. I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult to find a fold. You just rivered a straight, but if you think about how your hand is doing against what Martirosian is repping, you're not beating any value. You know, Martirosian is repping spades with that lead on the turn. Could have something like sixes, deuces.
You can see why this might be a painful decision. This ain't no $1 call. Potentially worth 5,000 euros. Who folds aces? Who folds aces when they make a straight? Let's not forget, this isn't just aces on a low board. This is a straight.
Sorry guys, I will need some time.
So you're saying there's lots of value of spades that got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like value that's there.
Spades, sixes, threes, fours, twos. Yeah. All the other overpairs, it doesn't really make sense as a, certainly not for value, and then as why would it be as a bluff, you know? Like,
because these aren't going to be, like kings and queens and jacks are never doing this.
Exactly, right?
We remove this? Okay.
Does make the call.
Lubietsky does, yes, in fact, make the call. Is going to have the quickest of hand funerals.
So Martirosian has completed in the small blind. Alexandros Kolonias has sixes in the big blind.
Okie dokie.
Picking a pokey.
That is a wet board.
Yeah, there's certainly been, I feel like, a few hands where both players have connected pretty well with the flop.
75,000. Martirosian, I wouldn't say all options available because fold isn't really one, but raising.
Yeah, it's interesting because pre-flop action kind of changes what could possibly be in Kolonias' range. Yeah.
40.
All in. Oh, sorry.
No.
He said, jeez, I was shocked. I was like, they're so deep. What's going on?
No. You're like, that's what I would do. That's Martirosian approved? Is this play Martirosian approved?
I wasn't shocked that he was so deep. I was shocked that it was what I would do.
Remember, Joe, how it works is think how you would play the hand. Then if you want to predict what the pro's going to do the exact opposite.
For once, I was not thinking that. I just misheard him. He's in 40, and I heard all in.
And Martirosian just feels like he has so much equity and that this board shouldn't necessarily be in Kolonias' range very often when he opens from the big blind.
Always with the board pair.
Yeah, good card for Kolonias, who now has 3-1 advantage.
Okay, so actually, what do you do here now? Because do you assume you're going to get called by top pair there a lot, and now you're running into trips and they're... Oh, small. I just feel like us mere mortals, whenever we bet this small here, it's just insta-race. But Martirosian somehow... I guess that's part of what? It's having a table image, right? Having respect as a player. That it's not me making this small bet. It's EPT champion Artur Martirosian making that bet, and so you can't raise him as often as you would.
Yeah, but also Kolonias just doesn't have the right hand to raise with, right? Kolonias is actually pretty happy to call a small sizing with sixes because he wants to get to showdown cheaply.
Oh, baby.
The thing is Martirosian is representing, trip sevens or 6-5 here. And it feels like Kolonias has a decent combo to bluff catch with. Yeah, he's blocking 6-5. He doesn't block any of the clubs, which is the obvious flush draw from the flop. You got to think, 7x type hand. Would they go for the sizing on the turn? Would they bet small with the two-tone, with the draws?
And are you going to be check raising a 7 that often on the flop?
Sometimes, to try to deny equity to 2 overcards that would raise pre and continue on the flop. But
there's like a ton of missed draws here too, though, right?
Yes. And like I said, the 6 is not the worst to bluff catch with. 2 6s, not just one 6.
Right.
Oh, Kolonias. I mean, he's a sicko too, so let's not forget that if anybody could do it, I feel like he could do it.
That was a fold.
Yep, the bluff gets through, and Martirosian wins the pot and chips up to 2.3 million, over 90 big blinds now.
All right, we've got blind on blind. Neves limping in with an ace. Martirosian going to take the free flop with 10-6 off. Queen 4 deuce, 2 clubs. Both players with a backdoor club draw.
His ace-7 here with the ace of clubs, good enough to check call here for 1/3 pot. It's got ace high, which is independently good on its own a lot of the time. Backdoor straight and flush draws.
How much harder, poker's hard in general already these days. How much harder does it get when you're three-handed?
It definitely gets harder. You have to play a lot of hands. Your opponent's ranges become a lot wider when you're playing full ring, 8-9-handed. Your opponents have much tighter ranges generally because they're only opening, much fewer hands. But when you're playing short-handed, 2- and 3-handed, your ranges are most of your hands. So your opponents can have all sorts of different things, which does make it more difficult to play.
And I think just mentally more difficult in that you're just involved all the time.
And we got an interesting turn card here. Martirosian picks up second pair of 6s, but Neves turns a nut flush draw. Again, his ace high could be good, plus he has the nut flush draw. I think we're going to go just call here.
And we are headed to the river. It is a club.
Also a bit of a cooler now. So Neves does back into the nut flush, but Martirosian himself has the 10 of clubs. Pretty big flush. Question is whether Neves is going to check or just lead bet himself.
And to Scott's point from earlier, when you're three-handed, 10 high flush is significantly stronger.
He does check. When you check here, it does two things. When your opponent has a flush, he's often going to bet himself. And when he doesn't have a flush, he's going to bet maybe as a bluff. Wow, he does make a very disciplined check back. Saves himself a lot of chips there.
Safe check.
Wow-wee. Martirosian, spidey sense was tingling. So Csik in the small blind limps in with 10-7. Martirosian is going to chuck his chips in, take the free flop with King-Jack. A little under-repped, obviously. But it's top pair for Csik.
Bet 50,000.
Csik betting 50,000, and I think Martirosian is going to peel, try to improve on the turn. Sometimes king high is going to be good, and that's what we like to call improving.
The king of spades is an improver, Joe. Absolutely. Really, really tough one here for Csik.
Check.
Csik or check? Sorry, I missed that. Csik check.
Csik check. Martirosian, 250K in the pot. Probably going to want to put some more in here. This is definitely a turn that he probably wants to bluff a ton as well, right? Like overcard to the board feels good.
Totally.
So just keep it balanced. One of the benefits of being a really aggressive player is that when you do actually barrel these cards, you don't get a lot of credit for it because you know you're capable, and a king of spades is going to be a card you bluff a lot. So go ahead and bet it, and bet it big too. I think at this stack depth, he's completely aced the size as well. Turn bet sizing here as you get deeper is certainly going to be chunkier.
And this is just a great setup right now. At such a good card that a lot of players are going to bluff at. It's a great opportunity to get called from a 7 again. 200K, a pretty big bet into a 250K pot. Martirosian just phenomenal. just knows his onions, as they say.
Absolutely.
Check, check.
Oh, it's such a good run out to pay him off, Joe. Missed clubs, some missed straight draws, some complete air balls. Wouldn't be surprised to see a check call here. I guess depends how he sizes it. He might try and go big again, though, to try and really, really balance up the times he is going to bluff here.
575.
575. Sorry, Joe.
Just goes huge.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Huge, and we love it. No offense to Csik, but we love it even more if he gets a call here. And this is gut check time. This is exactly gut Csik time, I guess.
I just love everything about the way he sizes his bets here.
Oh, he's reaching for chips. He's reaching for chips. I would have to sneak a peek at my opponent when I reach for chips like that and just see if they give off anything. I don't know if that's an angle or not. I probably wouldn't reach for chips at all anyway, but. And we're into the time bank.
I mean, there's no point looking at Martirosian. That guy's not giving anything away, Joe. You just look over and you get frustrated at how you're going, let me see if I can get a tell. Oh, God, I'm never getting a tell off this guy.
And I think you have to be a really good player to consider calling here. If you're folding here 100% of the time, you're incorrect.
Yeah.
If you're calling here 100% of the time, you're incorrect. So
honestly, if we were looking at a solver right now, I would be really surprised if this was a fold on the river. ICM-wise.
For that amount of bet also?
Seriously, I mean, I don't know. If your opponent is capable of having tons of bluffs here, and obviously Martirosian absolutely is, there's probably a ton of calling with a 7, but it's just so hard in the moment, especially on a final table. Does make the call.
Csik does make the call, and that is going to be a massive pot shipped in the direction of Artur Martirosian.
Yeah, and this is a bit of certainly a very genuine confrontation incoming. Artur with a real hand here in the form of ace-king. And Neves going to be opening, 50% of hands. King-jack very, very high in his range. Will be a hand that he'll feel he has to defend in some form or another. And, you know, 9-20, big old sizing out of the big blind. Both of these guys, I mean, it's the two chip leaders, 6 million each.
Wow, big pot already, almost 2 million in the middle.
So Martirosian with the advantage. Neves in position. And it is ace, ace, 3. So trips for Martirosian. Neves just 5% equity.
Not a good flop for Neves. Going to know that a lot of the bluffs are going to come from ace-x offsuit. But it's a board that Artur will go very, very small on, super dry, lockdown board.
Yeah, is there a size you think Neves sort of has to continue?
Yeah, I mean, this is 20% pot, right? 15% pot. And backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw.
King could be live against queens, jacks.
Exactly. We'll have to stick around.
Some bluffs.
Yeah.
So Neves does pick up a gut shot straight draw on the turn, and his equity actually increases to 9%.
And this is the battle we came to see today between these two.
900.
They are not leaving us wanting.
900,000 is the turn bet from Martirosian into a pot of just over 2.5 million.
Yeah, I think this is kind of nice. I think maybe for chips you would sort of size to make sure you can get all in. Here, with the stack sizes so equal, maybe we don't go all in with almost anything. And Neves, yeah, wondering if this is a hand that he wants to continue. No, folds, and big pot for Artur.
Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome poker content. And check out this video. The YouTube algorithm seems confident you'll like it.